the main shenanigan of the day, and that is, of course, yes, Nicolas Cage. And this is gonna be fun.
Get back down!
Yeah, if you were thinking of leaving, don't leave. You gotta sit back down and be here for this. So normally we start the year with a Nicolas Cage deep dive. We couldn't decide on what to deep dive because there wasn't a great one that was celebrating some sort of anniversary that we could all agree on. So we just said, well, screw it. We had so much fun doing the Breaking Bad draft. We're gonna do a Nicolas Cage draft. Oh, we did put out a poll
on YouTube, and Nicolas Cage performance draft came up with 60% of the vote.
Do you have a big board?
We do have a big board. We're gonna post that here in a second, but before we do, we need to decide our draft order here. So Todd,
yes,
I gave you the task of figuring out how we were going to determine this.
Yeah, so I'm going last, and Terry said, "Oh yeah, in Breaking Bad, we did this this thing where I asked a question, and then whoever was closer to the answer, that was the order that we were going to go in." So I decided, okay, I'll come up with a question related to Nicolas Cage, and the question is, how many times has Cage played a character named Joe or John?
I'm going to say 9.
For reference, there's 114 Nicolas Cage roles or performances or movies, whatever.
So Zach just jumped out and gave 9. So now I got the over under here. So I'm gonna go with the under. I'm gonna say 8.
The answer is 10.
Oh,
you guys are actually very close. 4 times he's played Joe, including the movie called Joe, and then 6 times he's played a character named John or Johnny. So
man, that was.
So Zach gets the first crack at it. Terry goes second, and I will have the snake at the end.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about how this is working here. So let me put this up here so we all can see what's going on. Yes. So we have we've got 12 rounds of this thing, and we have 10 categories, I believe. Yes. So there's performance. You have to pick 2 performances, 2 best performances, 2 best movies. Then you have to give the best lead character, the best supporting character, your favorite line, the best love interest, the most unlikely job, your favorite hair, and then a wild card, which could be more of the same. It could be something else, could be anything. Now, some other things that we said, each person can only use a movie once. And
I'm kind of nervous now.
I know. We're getting nervous here. So you can only use a movie once, and in each category, it can only be used once. So like if a performance is picked, that performance cannot be used by another person, and that character cannot be used in one of the character categories. So I think I got all that out there. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to see. We're
I don't know either.
Here. I know.
And the wild card can be, didn't you say it could be like anything else? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be.
You want to mention about Rich.
Okay. Yeah, anything you want it to be.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So Zach, you get the first pick. Where are we going for the first pick? You can go to any category. You don't have to go right down the line.
Okay. Well, yes, that's what happened during the Breaking Bad draft, and that's the only reason why that was the way it was. Gosh, I feel blessed with the first pick. It's a huge honor. But honestly, my biggest challenge for this whole draft is going to be not drafting from every single category for my favorite Nick Cage movie, which is Matchstick Men, which is my number 1 pick under movie. I could do this whole draft with just Matchstick Men categories. It's unquestionably Cage's best movie and Cage's best everything. It has to be the undisputed. It is the LeBron pick of this draft. It's the clear number 1 in my mind.
All right, so we've got Matchstick Men as the number 1 pick for best film. Okay. So now it's
But
on
see,
to me.
but see, you get penalized because now I can't use it in anything else. And there's just so many great things from it. That's what makes this draft interesting and challenging.
It's true. And that's the thing is, what do you want to go with as that first in those first picks? You want to go with? Is there something like you want to just like
But then
make sure you
again,
get out
there
of
are
the way?
114 movies, and 10 of which he plays a character named Joe or John. So there's plenty of other options.
Okay. And do you go with like what's the most? What do you think is going to be the most competitive that you want to make sure you get out of the way? Okay. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna go with I'd kind of decided beforehand that's what I was gonna go with. It might be not quite a conventional pick, but I'm going with it. I am going to best performance, and I'm not gonna go with one with the Oscar win. I am going with his dual performance and adaptation. That's my pick here.
Charlie and Donald.
Adaptation. Okay.
Yeah, it's the only.
Yeah,
it's
you
the
took
only,
a lead and supporting character off the board
exactly,
there, Terry.
two for one.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, what's one that like I want to make sure I get my pick in on, and that's what I did. I didn't even think about it. I was taking a lead and supporting off the board, but
Now, just to be clear,
right.
for those listeners who aren't familiar with our podcast, Todd is the world-renowned Nicolas Cage expert. Terry and I are mere novices in this category, so that's why Todd is the last pick. So we'll see how he does, but we have a tall task in front of us.
Oh, and we gave Todd a stipulation because Todd has completed the Cager and watched his whole filmography. We made the stipulation that for it to qualify, someone else on the podcast had to have seen the movie. So either me or Zach or Adam had to have seen the movie for it to count. Okay, Todd, wraparound picks.
All right. Well, I mean, I gotta take Leaving Las Vegas in performance because I have that as my number 5 lead actor performance of all time. It is easily Cage's best performance and one of the best movies of all time. But I think performance is more important to get out of the way because I love the Cager. And my second pick, I'm going for in hairdo. I'm taking Sympathy for the Devil, which is a movie we reviewed on the podcast, and he's got bleached red hair, and it is fabulous. He plays the devil, I believe. Isn't that how it went? But
I haven't seen that one.
Didn't we review it? I swear we reviewed that. Maybe I reviewed it.
You did. You've reviewed every one of his movies.
Wait, so did nobody see this?
I think Adam has. I think Adam's seen it.
Then yes, that is still my pick though. His hair in Sympathy for the Devil is something truly extraordinary, and I got to get that one out of the way. Which I guess I know if you guys haven't seen it, I didn't need to do that.
It's true, you didn't need to,
yes, Adam has
but you did. All right, good deal. Good deal. I'm next. I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go with my next pick. I'm going to supporting character because I noticed I have shockingly few of those to pick from. So I'm going supporting character, and I'm going with Spider Noir from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Nicely done.
So that's what we're going with there. Yeah, it's just like that's amazing. Just that's all I have to say about that. He's playing Spider Noir. The inner monologue of a Spider-Man is by Nicolas Cage. Like, you gotta love it. Zach, you get a wraparound pick now.
Okay, I'm going to go under performance. I'm going Deadfall. Deadfall is one of the all-time great examples of movie.
That's your supporting character?
No, performance.
Oh, performance.
It's one of the all-time great performances. He actually is technically a supporting character in the movie, but it's a Coppola movie,
that's the category he should be going in.
Well, I think it's the best. I think it's one of his greatest performances ever. There's just no question that it's a work of true genius. And then losing his shit, we're gonna go A, B, C, D. Vampire's Kiss. Now again, so many great losing his shit options here, but Vampire's Kiss. When he's at the psychologist's office talking about how frustrated he is as secretary for not putting away. This is what inspired Simon Hedberg's famous appearance on Conan O'Brien, talking about how he loved Nicolas Cage. Was this great monologue from Vampire's Kiss? You should put that it's A, B, C, D, the actual monologue from.
Oh,
so
yes.
My losing his shit.
That wouldn't have been the pick from Vampire's Kiss I would have gone with, but
there's many. There are quite a few from that movie, but that's the one that I love. And Simon Hedberg.
I like the one in the car where he's like, "That goddamn contract is somewhere in those goddamn fucking files."
Or you could go, "I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire." Or is that also the one with the paint? I think that's a different movie, maybe. But
that's Adam Daly.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. Great stuff. All right. It's to me now. And my pick, I'm going to love interest, and I'm going Angelina Jolie in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Sway.
That's what I'm going with here.
Okay.
Yep. Sway. We'll just go.
One of the real question marks of this whole endeavor is, what will Todd pick from Gone in 60 Seconds?
True.
There's almost some sub betting odds on what Todd would take or where he'd go with it. But I like that pick. I think that was one of the love interests that I was very seriously considering.
Yeah, I felt like it was like the lowest hanging fruit there, and so I need to get it. Need to grab that one. Todd, wrap around.
Okay. There's an interesting exercise here.
It's exploring it in such a weird way.
Okay. I think I gotta do something there. All right.
Now, what's kind of interesting so far is we don't have any overlaps yet. We could just say no overlaps, period. But that would make it more intense and more like impressive. But I think it's interesting we have no overlaps yet. But we'll see how far that goes.
All right, my lead character is going to be Cameron Poe. I mean, yeah, we deep dove that movie, and it's still awesome. And his character is probably the most badass that he has ever been. Like he's jacked in that movie, and so I gotta take that one off the board. And to wrap around, so Zach took I can't use Eddie for supporting character.
See, I knew supporting character was going to get competitive, so.
Mm-hmm. All right, I still have some options there, though.
Can't use Donald Kaufman either.
Yeah, I know. That was my number one pick in that category.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll go losing his shit scene, and I'm gonna take the Wicker Man, of course, because you gotta go Wicker Man. I mean, it's either Wicker Man or Deadfall, but so Wicker Man, it's either How Did It Get Burned or The Bees, and I'm struggling to, because I love how he just keeps screaming How to Get Burned. I mean, that's probably the one I quote more than The Bees, so I'll go How Did It Get Burned. How to get burned? How to get burned? How to get burned?
You could go, you bitches.
Simon Helberg.
I was gonna say, I don't think he actually. That's not the actual line. That's Simon Helberg's version of the line. All right. Let's see here.
This is bizarre.
Do I wanna? Is there anything? Nope. That's what I'm doing. All right. My lead character is Stanley Goodspeed, The Rock.
Wondering when we were going to get to The Rock.
But of course,
There we go. Of course you are. Yeah. I was trying to think of it. Was there another spot? Oh, Zach has the DVD right there. Trying to think if there was another spot I wanted to use The Rock anywhere, but I think that's the best spot to use it. So, all right, Zach, you've got 2 picks in a row.
Okay, for supporting character, I'm going Fu Manchu from Grindhouse.
Nice.
And let's see.
Should have done bit part. I told you, Terry.
What?
We should have done bit part, and that's one of these two.
Yeah.
For now, do I want to go lead performance or lead character or performance? I think I'm going to leave the performance open and go lead character. I'm going to go Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans, in which he plays the same name as the Harvey Keitel character in the original. No, lead character, not performance.
Oh, lead character. Sorry.
Yeah. Lead character, yes. Now, of course, there are many things from Bad Lieutenant Port of Call New Orleans we could use too, as when he's threatening the old women and when he hallucinates the iguanas. But I think that's just one of his great character creations, and his only, sadly, collaboration with Werner Herzog. But it needs some representation too. So glad to have it as my favorite lead character.
That's a good one. That is a good one. That is a.
So what is
the character's name?
Lieutenant Terrence McDonough.
McDonough, just like his character in Raising Arizona.
Well, there we go. Do you want to bring in Raising Arizona? That has not been mentioned yet. Raising Arizona could be several. Oh yeah, okay.
It's my turn. Okay. Let's see. I got lead supporting. I've got.
We still have no overlap at this point.
I haven't picked. I don't think so. I haven't picked a best movie yet. Which I.
Well, it's good to leave the ones open that the other people have taken, because then you know that your chances of getting the ones you have written down are better.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're gonna start an overlap here. I'm going with my best performance Matchstick Men. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I mean, no arguments from either of us.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. I realized that was still open. I was thinking movie performance. Okay. I gotta get another great performance in there. I think I gotta choose Joe. Joe is going in performance.
Ooh.
Nice.
Probably his first
I thought you were going.
Real indie subtle performance he did at post second Oscar nomination. So that's got to come off the board. And then supporting character, I guess. Yeah, supporting character. I'm going Nikki Coppola in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Okay. I see what you're doing there.
He's that is the cage that would flip out and do things, and he has the brilliant delivery of in the trailer of Nick freaking Cage. Whoa! So, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent in supporting.
All right. Well, I will. I'll follow that up I was saving it, but I don't want to save it any longer. My favorite line is the one you just gave of massive talent, Nick effing Cage. I was debating on whether it was going to be that or Nick Cage. It's one of the deliveries of his own name in that movie, but I think the better one is going with Nicky's performance of the line.
Yes.
So
It's a good one.
okay, all right, Zach, it's to you.
Okay, well, I have two that I want to pick from the same movie. So it comes down to, and the movie is Con Air. And I think I'm going to go with the line. And the line is, of course, put the bunny back in the box. I mean, that's the most, to me, most iconic Nicolas Cage line of any movie that he's ever made. Yes, that is what I'm going to go with for favorite line. And then I think I'm going to go movie for my second movie pick, and that is the Academy Award-winning Moonstruck. Great movie, great rapport with Cher. This was one of his first real big mainstream roles, and he's amazing in it. One of the great one-handed characters in the history of cinema. And he lifts her up, takes her into the bedroom, screams at Danny Aiello for burning his hand. How did it get burned? How did it get burned? Wrong movie. But it is a great movie, and yes, I'm very happy to have Matchstick. I'm the only one picking movies. I think Matchstick and Moonstruck, you guys are going to have a challenge to come up with two better movies than those, but I guess we shall see.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I've been kind of leaving the movies alone. I think I may need to pick one though. It bothers me to try and pick Grindhouse as the best movie of Nicolas Cage's career when he's in like a second of it. So I can't really do that. I'm gonna go, screw it. I'm gonna go with an unconventional pick that you guys are probably gonna hate on, but it's a movie I really love and I really enjoy, and I think was really well done, and he's very understated in it. My best film, I'm going World Trade Center. I really like that movie. I think it's a brilliantly done movie, and he's very, very good in it. So.
Okay.
And I couldn't think of anywhere else to put that one, and I needed to mention it, so that's where it's going. So I can use all the stuff from his other fun movies and other categories.
That's an interesting pick. I didn't really write that down anywhere, so. But I do remember liking that movie.
All right, Todd.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a movie, and it's gonna be adaptation. I love adaptation, and haven't used it yet, so it's going in there. So I remember to actually use it. And so I can't use that one, or that one, or that one. So I'm this one's getting used up pretty quick. I'm for Cage love interest, it's got to be Laura Dern in Wild at Heart. Which is a super weird David Lynch movie, but that is as like bizarre of an acid trip romantic comedy or whatever the hell that is that you can think of, and Laura Dern's super hot in that, so hotter than Antonio Banderas is in that movie Terry doesn't like. So I will, yes, that's where it's going.
It's a good one. That is a good one. She was on my list as well. Okay. So now it's to me. And I'm going to go. There's one category that nothing's been selected from yet. But I don't know if I might hold on to that one still. I'm gonna go favorite hair. And for oh wait, no, am I going favorite hair? Is that what I wanted to do? I'm trying to remember now. No, I don't want to do that. Never mind. No, yes I do. Yes I do. That's right. Favorite hair. Favorite hair, I'm going with the Flash. And his cameo as Nick Cage Superman. That's my favorite hair from Nicolas Cage.
Because that didn't make my top like 15. I had a bunch of hair written down.
I had there's a couple there that I was deciding between, but one of them actually was Wild at Heart because he's like trying to be Elvis in that movie. But
Man, I jumped the gun on the hair, but I still was always going with Sympathy for the Devil. But the problem is, I mean, like you got some iconic hair, and then you got bald head Cage too. Like
I thought about
good...
that one too.
But I mean, yeah, okay.
All right, Zach.
Okay. Well, I think gosh, this one's very tricky. I think for okay, let's go Unlikely Job. That one has not been touched yet. There's several good picks here. I'm torn between two.
That's why I didn't pick it yet.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go Pig. I'm going to go Pig as the legendary underground chef. It doesn't really, he doesn't really seem like the reclusive truffle seeking chef who lives in the dungeons and underground tunnels of Portland, Oregon. But it still works. It's just you don't necessarily see him as a chef. And then I'll get my love interest out of the way, even though obviously I could wait on it. But I was happy to have this as a love interest. I really like Bridget Fonda in It Could Happen to You. She is charming as the waitress in that movie. They have a great rapport, even though he's married technically to Rosie Perez in that movie, and she's great too. But hey, I guess in 90s Hollywood, the blonde always wins. This is a very nice pre-Melanie performance, pre-Melanie and Jackie Brown performance from Bridget Fonda. It's really, when I think Bridget Fonda, it's one of the 2 or 3 movies I really think of her in, and I think she's really great in it. Cage playing a cop in that movie, but like a nice, friendly cop almost would be an Unlikely Job candidate as well. A non-messed up cop.
All right. My pick now. I'm going to fill in. Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'm going to fill in the losing his shit spot because I haven't picked that one yet. Which I saved because you guys picked it. So I was like, well, I don't need to pick it right now because you guys didn't pick the one I was going for. And I'm going for the most recent Cager. I'm going Longlegs and him in the car.
Not where he bangs his head on the table.
I mean, there's so many you could pick from that movie, but I'm going I don't even remember. Like, wasn't he singing? I think he was singing in the car. It was bizarre and weird and very, very Nick Cage. So I'm going with Nick Cage. Todd, it's to you.
Man, the occupation one is just ripe with movies I haven't used yet, and I just
you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you could use there.
Okay, what do I still need? I need another movie. See how do I play this? Favorite line. Do I go a line that I've quoted a lot, or do I go a line where he delivers it in a great way? I'm surprised Terry didn't go with that line.
There were so many lines I could have gone with, man.
Okay. I need to pick my movie so I can narrow this down a little bit. I'm going with Pig. Pig is the movie, which I loved more than you guys did. I believe it was in my top 5 of that year. I think it's my top. It's my number 5 overall cager. So that's a good spot for it. And then we have 3 more picks, right? I have 2, so I'm gonna have 1 more wraparound after this.
Yes.
Okay, for favorite line, I'm gonna go from The Rock, and that is, well, gosh, kind of a lot's happened since then, because that is something that I and also Terry quote quite a bit, and I mean, there's a bunch of stuff he says in that, but it's just his demeanor, and with saying that line. I mean, you could Terry. I'm surprised you didn't go with Zeus's butthole, but well, gosh, kind of a lot's happened since then. Is that is Cage is doing his thing. He just wants to find some rockets.
This is not happening. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. All right. What do I go with here? Man, that'd be a weird one to use. I still need another a best film to wrap up that list.
How many more good ones do you have?
That's what I'm looking at here. I've kind of.
Oh, you got some good ones. You haven't used like Face Off.
I know. I'm trying to figure out where I want to use that though. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna use Face Off as my best film. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm throwing in there. That's about as polar opposite as you could possibly get. World Trade Center and Face Off. But yeah, that's what I got. Nah, I don't like it, but
This is so weird.
Well, I've got so many like random ideas for wild card that I don't know what I want to do with, and Face Off was one I could have thrown into wild card pretty easily, but yeah. All right, Zach.
Well, you kind of messed me up, Terry, because I was going to pick Face Off as my last performance, and now I cannot because.
No, you can.
Or can I?
You can.
I can. Okay.
You
well,
can.
then I'll go with Face Off.
I didn't pick the performance. I picked the movie.
Right. Okay. So yes, Face Off. I mean, I love the opening scene where he's in the priest outfit and he's like, hallelujah, and he's shaking his head, and then he's grabbing the choir girl's ass, and then it's like looking at me, only not. And obviously
that's a
great
Travolta line.
Well, it's from the movie, right? Almost counts. But is it? But see, he's saying it as John Travolta, so it should count as a cage line. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess I'm really disappointed that I didn't get Red Rock West in this list. So I'm going to go with that for my favorite hairdo. He's got long, stringy hair in that movie. And it's also a great performance too. I mean, you could almost do a flip flop of those, although his hair in Face Off isn't that great. Yeah, Red Rock West, amazing hair and amazing everything in that movie. Amazing denim. I think it's the most denim Cage ever was in any movie. I was thinking about going Dream Scenario for hair, but I just think that's not fair. That's disingenuous to Nicolas Cage.
I thought you were going to go with the retirement plan for hair.
Yeah, it's kind of the same category. I mean, it's just a little bit. It's not very generous to him.
Okay. So I've got Unlikely Job and Wild Card left. There's so many good ones for Job. I'm going to save that one. I'm going to go with my wild card, I think. I was thinking my wild card was going to be best performance mimicking another performance and do Face Off. But I'm going to go with My wild card is Nicolas Cage's appearance on Weekend Update in Saturday Night Live, going in the cage with Andy Samberg as Nick Cage.
That's
And
not bad.
yeah, so SNL in the cage. That's what I'm going with as my wild card. I'm gonna have a three-way with Magna Carta.
Nicolas Cage's birthday is on Tuesday. That's why we do this first podcast of the year. So
happy birthday, Nick Cage. All right, Todd's last 2 picks. You need unlikely job and wild card.
So unlikely occupation, like there's some really good ones. I'm just gonna start spitting some out. One of them I can't use for Gone in 60 Seconds is the go-kart instructor. I mean, that's a great job for Nicolas Cage. Then man, I see, and then he's got Burger Flipper in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's a private investigator in Honeymoon in Vegas. He's a tire salesman in The Family Man, and I almost am tempted to go with that because I haven't used that yet. But I mean, there's no better answer than an astrophysics professor in Knowing.
Yeah, I thought about that one too. That's a good one. And that's a physics professor who predicts the end of the Earth or the end of the world.
Yes, he's a good one. He's a good one at that. He knows his craft for sure.
See, Todd, I think you're missing. Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Sorry, I was gonna move on. So what are you saying?
Never mind. I'll use it for wild card.
Okay, so my wild card. There's a lot of things you can go with. Terry already said The Flash. I was thinking about just going like his whole saga as Superman because he's got like The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. He's got Teen Titans Go to the Movies and The Flash. Like you could do something like that. But I just want to mention his brilliance in Gone in 60 Seconds to the point that he could make naming off car parts into a sex scene. So I want the car sex scene in Gone in 60 Seconds because you wouldn't want to disrupt the synchrono mesh, the throttle linkage, clutch master cylinder, the overhead camshaft, straight inline 6, triple Weber carburetors bolted to each other's bistructures. Good brakes. Good brakes, too.
There we go. Gone in 60 seconds. Scene. Best car sexy talk.
Yes. That is my wild card because there is nobody that would have done that better and made it actually kind of sound good.
Oh, that's good. I thought about going wild card. I thought about going The Family Man. I thought about using The Family Man and saying best performance in running. Because he's got that he's running down the isn't it the
action hero running in a romantic comedy.
Yeah, exactly. That was another one I had there. All right, unlikely job. So like you mentioned some of them.
The tire salesman's a good one. Like that one.
Tire salesman is a good one. I've got PI on there, but he's played a PI more than once. Like he played PI in Honeymoon in Vegas. He also played one in 8mm.
Oh yeah.
You've got hotel owner in Looking Glass, but he played a hotel owner multiple times. Apparently, in Arizona. You've got ambulance driver and Bringing Out the Dead. Like that's an interesting one. That's unlikely. I'm gonna go. You've got college professor and Dream Scenario, but you already went with the college professor for Knowing. So I'm going with. It's not necessarily unlikely, but it's maybe the wildest one. I'm going with the job of sorcerer in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. But
that's good.
On some level, like you're like, of course, Nicolas Cage is a sorcerer, but it's also like, wait,
job.
He's playing a sorcerer. Yeah, it's a job. It's more of a lifestyle, I think. Actually,
you could have gone with Dracula.
That's true. I thought about going with Dracula, but sorcerer is just better. It's like Nicolas Cage, the sorcerer. Yeah, that's why I went with one. Bringing Out the Dead was probably a close second. All right, Zach, you have the final pick, and it's your wild card pick.
Well, my wild card pick is a little more closer into the vein of Terry's pick, and that is Nicolas Cage is a great star of the silver screen, but he's also a great star of the internet. And I think that he's in the greatest internet video of all time on YouTube, and it is 4 minutes straight of Nicolas Cage losing his shit by Harry Hanrahan. And really, I mean, we'd be lying if we said that this wasn't, one of the reasons that we love Cage is that he says in his Oscar speech, I want to fast track to the future of acting. Well, he did that with the Harry Hanrahan clip. I mean, we get all of Nicolas Cage's greatest moments in one 4-minute supercut that is the highest cinematic achievement you could ever imagine for an internet clip. So it's the reason that we do this, and it's the reason we love movies and the internet to a lesser extent. But clearly, it's the greatest 4 minutes you could. If you were talking to someone from a different planet or a different universe, and you said, they asked you, what is so great about the internet? And you had 4 minutes to explain it. You would just show them this video, right?
Probably.
And if they asked you why Nicolas Cage was so great, you'd show them the video.
See, but they need to update it. Like that, the most recent movie on there is like 15 years old or something, or more than that. Like they need to update that as we go, because I've seen so many clips and there were so many scenes in like recent stuff. I'm like, man, this belongs in there. Like Mandy and Mom and Dad, and I mean, there's just a bunch of ones.
Long legs.
Damn it. Yeah, long legs.
All right. Well, there we go. Our draft has been completed. Zach, why don't you run us down for everybody what your draft ended up looking like?
All right. I'm not happy with my draft. I think I messed. I'm happy about a few of them, but
I don't think anybody's
overall,
happy with their draft.
Yeah. We needed
Using
Adam.
the movies
Adam
once was the problem. Yeah, if Adam was here, it would have been worse.
Can you imagine?
Okay.
Our performances and characters would have gotten so watered down.
Yeah.
My top two performances were Deadfall and Face Off. My movies were Matchstick Men and Moonstruck. I'm proud of those. I wouldn't change those. Lead character, Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Supporting character, Fu Manchu and Grindhouse. Losing His Shit, Vampire's Kiss, ABCD. Now, I do think our Losing Our Shit 3 picks are pretty solid. There's a wealth of riches that you could choose from, but those are 3 pretty good ones. Favorite line, Put the Bunny Back in the Box. Love interest, It Could Happen to You, Bridget Fonda. Unlikely Job, The Truffle Chef in Pig. Favorite hairdo, Red Rock West. And the wild card, the infamous Losing His Shit 4-minute YouTube video.
All right. And for me, my performances are Adaptation and Matchstick Men. See, I went all out on the performances and then left myself a watered down movie list. And my movie list is World Trade Center and Face Off. Lead character, The Rock. Supporting character, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Losing His Shit scene is the car scene in Long Legs. Favorite line, Nick effing Cage! Woo! From The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Love interest, Angelina Jolie in Gone in 60 Seconds. Unlikely Job, Sorcerer in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Favorite hairdo is the flowing locks of Superman in The Flash. And my wild card pick is Going in the Cage on Saturday Night Live. That's high praise. Yeah.
Terry, you should have picked yourself for wild card with your impression of Cage.
I've got it down pretty well. All right, Todd, what do you got?
For performance, I have Leaving Las Vegas and Joe. For movie, I have Adaptation and Pig. For lead character, I have Con Air, which is Cameron Poe. For supporting character, I have his character of Nicky Coppola in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. My Losing His Shit scene was How to Get Burned in The Wicker Man. My favorite line is, well, gosh, kind of a lot's happened since then in The Rock. My love interest, I'm still debating on whether I made the right choice. I have Laura Dern in Wild at Heart. I really wanted to say Téa Leoni in The Family Man. I love that character too. My unlikely job is an astrophysics professor in Knowing. My favorite hair is, of course, was my number 2 pick overall, the red hair in Sympathy for the Devil. And my wild card is his turning talking about cars into sexy talk. And Gone in 60 Seconds. The only time I used it. And I think I used it right.
I think you did. You picking Sympathy for the Devil second is like me picking Skinny Pete second in the Breaking Bad draft. Yeah,
I really thought we
there's
had reviewed that shit. It was Renfield though.
yeah, it was Renfield. There was some ones I was like, oh, I wish I could have used that too. Like lines, like if I had other lines, I mean, we're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. That's another good one.
Two Rogers don't make it right.
Two Rogers, just let's ride is what I was gonna say from Gone 60 Seconds.
What was
another one
Todd,
from?
What was your
Go ahead.
line, Todd? A lot's happened. What was that?
Oh gosh, kind of a lot's happened since then. He says that like right after having sex.
We're not even married.
I think you could. I think you could have done a little better than that. I like the Laura Dern pick, by the way. The scene when they get out of their car and scream in the desert is a pretty fun scene. But
I think I was kind of bummed we didn't have for love interest. We didn't have Holly Hunter in Raising Arizona.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Yeah, or honestly, Laura Flynn Boyle in Red Rock West was a great love interest in that movie.
One other line I was thinking about. I felt like the line almost had to come from Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent because it's Cage being Cage. And the other one I was looking at was It's Grotesque. I'll give you $20,000 for it. I thought that was a pretty good one. Yeah, there's so many different ways this could have gone, and I think it went about as good as it could have.
My favorite line in Matchstick Men is, "I'm a con artist. They give me their money." that's nice.
What about,
justification
and that was a good day, Doc.
That was a good day.
Also, you could go with Kathy, the cashier from the grocery store, as the love interest. A charming, albeit
I had her written down
in Matchstick Men. But so you could just do
this whole
thing.
Snake Eyes.
We didn't mention Snake Eyes. We also didn't mention the retirement plan.
Or Kick-Ass.
I wrote down the line from Snake Eyes, which is that very end of the tracking shot, the opening tracking shot, where he stands up, he's like, "I am the king," and then the bell dings and the fight starts. It's a great moment, and it's Cage saying, "I am the king."
Another one I was thinking about for hair was Amos and Andrew.
Yeah, that would have worked.
I was thinking, as I was going through it, another great category we could have done is like best scene partner. Like that would have been an interesting one to add in there, because that was another one I was thinking, like Samuel Jackson in Amos and Andrew, or
who was his partner? Was it Ernie Hudson in their retirement plan?
Ernie Hudson was his partner in the retirement plan. Yeah. Oh,
we didn't have an underrated movie either. That would have been a good category, like an underrated Cage movie that you'd want to defend, in which I would probably say Renfield, because I liked Renfield more than you guys did. I think that movie rocks, and I wish I could have mentioned it somewhere.
That's probably where I would have ended up putting World Trade Center instead of putting it in my best film category, and then I could have thrown like Bringing Out the Dead into my best film.
Honestly, I think The Wicker Man's a good movie. I probably would have had that on there.
I haven't seen The Wicker Man.
I think Deadfall's a legitimately good movie. I mean, I have that ranked above several other notable 1993 movies, and I stand by that as one of his greatest performances. It's incredible acting. I have him nominated for Best Supporting Actor that year. And I was only recently made aware that equal to it.
Someone needed to pick Bangkok Dangerous for hair. I think Todd's the only one that's seen it.
Yeah, I was also wondering.
I had so many things. I was like, I can't even use it. That's why I'm glad that we got a list of them at least, so I could.
I'm disappointed we didn't get any Left Behind references either, but I don't think anyone's seen that but Todd either.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, there we go. That's our draft. This was fun.